Hello everyone and welcome back to the video. In today's video, I want to talk about some prodigies in Smash Ultimate because my lord does this game have a lot of them that just kind of go unrecognized, whether it's because they play a character that people don't appreciate, they're from a smaller region, or people just aren't really familiar because they haven't been to any bigger events. In today's video, we're going to be tackling a couple of those players, and I think everyone that I mentioned in this video could top 8 a major at some point. They have all been rapidly improving. They already have a bunch of good wins. They're all extremely talented players. And again, there's a lot of people that I'm not going to mention in this video because there's so many prodigies now. So if there's something that I left out, please let me know down below. I kind of just want to spread the word of like, hey, you're not becoming prodigy, gas people up, let's get the scene going, because there's so many people right now that could cause some serious damage in the bracket that people just don't really know about. Now, the first three players that I want to talk about are going to be Atomic, DJ Dawn, and Skeleton. And the reason I'm wrapping them all together is just because they don't have too many major experiences besides Atomic, as well as them all being from the region of Texas. And I want to talk about Texas in general. But we'll start with Atomic because he does have more major results. He is 9th place at both Lost Tech City and Rising Grind, wins on MK Big Boss and SkyJ respectively there, which are really strong. And then more recently, 65th at both Main Stage and Let's Make Big Moves. You also have Skeleton with 65th at Lost Tech City and Rising Grind. And then DJ Dawn, the only recent major performance I could find from him was a 129th at Let's Make Big Moves, which is always very, very good results. Like, these are very impressive results from these guys. And Texas in general as a region, because spoilers, these guys are all from Texas, such a strong region. I feel like it doesn't get talked about nearly enough. Like, when you're talking about the best regions in the U.S., it's like Florida is really good, Georgia is really good, Tri-State's really good, low-key Midwest is really good at this point. Texas is crazy. The old guard is really strong in Texas, and this new guard that I've been seeing from these three guys, as well as some other players, have been so impressive. I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough because they're playing Steve, Rob, and Kazuya. You have Skeleton on the Kazuya, DJ Dawn on the Steve, and then Atomic on the Rob / Joker, though it's been mainly Joker from what I've seen, or rather mainly Rob from what I've seen. And people want to see these characters. The second they see any of those three characters, like, I have to undermine this. I have to make it so this is not impressive. These guys are so talented, and the fact that people aren't talking about them is pretty crazy because they're getting some really good results, some really good wins. Like, you have DJ Dawn and Atomic being able to take sets off Lima. Obviously, Atomic took a set off SkyJ a little bit ago. SkyJ is like a top 20 player in the world at this point. Skeleton with wins on like Hippo, wins on Fox, wins on Yanni. All these guys are just getting these insane wins along the way. Because the characters they're playing, I really feel like that's one of the main reasons they aren't really talked about enough. But if you look at them playing, because they all have massive head-to-heads against each other, they've all been playing a bunch. You look at the tournament sets, even from like 3 months ago, the improvement from like that timeline to now is rapid. They're getting better so much quicker. I really feel like if we start seeing DJ Dawn, Skeleton, and Atomic going to more major events, we could see them getting into top 32, and then another couple months top 16, then another couple months top 8, then another couple months winning the entire thing. I'm not over exaggerating at all. These guys are getting better so much quickly. They're bringing the level of play up in Texas so much higher. Like, at the start of the game, Texas was like probably the best region. You had so many hitters there. I feel like it kind of fell off, but now Texas is back in full form with this new guard leading it. Very impressed by all three of these players. Huge shouts to them. Keep grinding. You guys are doing absolutely amazing, and I really hope to see all three of you at majors because, my lord, you guys are goated. Also, this is just me in the post-editing era. Sorry this video is a little bit scatterbrained. I just kind of wanted to use this video to talk about some really talented up-and-coming players. But some people that I didn't mention today that I thought should get a little bit of a shout-out are going to be, it's a big list, Desmona, Guy, Crepe Saleh, Smoothie, shout out Smoothie, he plays Link especially. Link rep is so sick, I need more Link, but unrelated. Paris, Karage, Enhanced PV, Karu, Straw Hat Kid, and Brujo. I think those are all really, really talented players that I didn't get to talk about because I just didn't have a segment prepared, and I've been trying to get this video out for a while, so just thought I should mention them. They're all extremely talented, and back to the video. The next player that I want to talk about is going to be Candle. Now, Candle is an extremely talented all-around player. They were previously known as 34, but they changed the tank to Candle. And they have a 49th at Double Down, being one of their worst performances recently, which is pretty crazy. And at that tournament, they lost to Shootone and Riddles. That's just kind of unlucky. Then they have a 33rd at SmashCon with wins on JW, Kobe, and Geist. Some really nice wins there. Main stage as well, Cyro, a Torie, Yanni. Having a Torie win is really, really impressive. Like, a Torie is a player that sometimes could be considered top 30 in the world. When he's playing well, Torie is a top 30, as well as Candle doing very well at the Arcadian. They got wins on Kirash, Desmona, Chave, and Xavier. Desmona, who top 8'd main stage, by the way. And something interesting about Candle as well is they're probably one of the best All-Mars in the world, because when you think about top All-Mar players, you're thinking like Myron, Subo, but then it's like Debuzz and Shootone. Those are your top two All-Mars, right? But then you look at Debuzz, well, he doesn't really play All-Mar anymore. Same thing with Shootone. He doesn't really play All anymore. So that kind of best best spot for Olimar in the world. It's kind of up for contention. There are some very good Olimars, like obviously the ones I mentioned. Army as well is another good one I can think of. But Candle's been having some really solid results along the way. They also have a second place at the Smash Ultimate Summit 6 VIP bracket. Got a couple good wins along the way. They're just extremely impressive player. Also have a pretty good Steve secondary. For what I've seen though, I've been mainly impressed by the Olimar, but the Steve is obviously something that you have to worry about in tournament. 17th at Frosty Fausting as well. There's so many like little results. It feels like every single time Candle goes to a tournament, they're getting a nice little win. They're getting a good placement. They're just such a consistent player. Again, they have not had a bad performance since Double Down, and it was 49th at Double Down, which is very impressive. And they lost to two top 10 players in the world. Candle is ridiculous, such an amazing player, one of the best Olimars in the world right now, and I'm really interested to see if they are able to get a top 8 in major soon. And spoilers, the answer to that is probably yes. Next up, I want to talk about Xavier. If you don't know who Xavier is, he's a really good Wii Fit player, which isn't something that you see a ton because, Wii Fit's kind of one of those weird characters where it's like, yes, they have some really good things about them as well as some really bad things about them. So it's kind of hard to have super success with them in tournament, but Xavier's definitely been someone that has found that success. He's a 17th at Back and Blood 5 with wins on Machu, Saw Step, Jojo the Hobo, 25th at the LSI getting wins on Zerxel, 25th at Port Priority, wins on Spam Cop, Ven, 49th at main stage with wins on Shady and Samuel, as well as in the main stage Arcadian bracket, he's able to get wins on Quandale and Rockman, which are two really good players. And then finally, Major Upset got a 49th place. They're only losing to Zomba and Esam, which again, kind of just an unfortunate bracket, but I want to talk about Wii Fit in general as a character because Wii Fit's at a really weird place in the meta where we've seen people have success with this character. Like, obviously, Xavier, like I just mentioned, Varun's really good. InJelly as well has been doing very well in Japan. And Wii Fit is a character that plays really, really heavily into that one ring condition of, okay, I am going to get deep breathing, and if I get my deep breathing, I am going to be doing extremely well. But if I don't get that deep breathing, then I'm going to be struggling a lot. Because with deep breathing, Wii Fit's like a top 20 character. Like, if they had deep breathing on at all times, they would be broken because you can do some very scary stuff with that. And Xavier's definitely someone that exploits that. His deep breathing usage is very good, as well as just like all the basic Wii Fit stuff. Like, yeah, if you want to be good with Wii Fit, you're going to have to be having good camping, as well as having like some really precise combos. Wii Fit has some of the more precise, at least startups to combos in the game. Like with Nair 1, with like the forward air hitboxes, it's really difficult to play this character. There's a lot of very intricate things you have to know, and Xavier does that extremely well. Really hope we get to see him more at majors because you can just see him continually, slowly increasing. Like it's going up and up. Even going back to like Double Down, he got 257th there, and then he's just been slowly going up and up. 97th at Genesis being like the only other blemish there, but like a lot of people didn't do super amazing at Genesis. And also 97th is still pretty good. Still got a win on Samuel there as well. Xavier is an extremely talented player. Really looking forward to seeing more of him, and just kind of looking forward to seeing more Wii Fit in general. And the next player that we're going to be talking about is going to be kind of the reason that I'm making this video. I just want an excuse to talk about them, and that's going to be Wilds. Wilds is crazy. He is the definition of a prodigy. He went from getting 129th at MomoCon, 193rd at Smash Gano. Pretty good performances. I wouldn't be getting those after a couple of years of playing, and he's only like 13, 14, 15, like somewhere in that range. Very young, by the way, so again, makes it way more impressive. 17th at Glitch Regen, got wins on AOS and Gen. 65th at Collision, got a win on Pico. MSM0 had a pretty nice loser run, got win on Kairos. But the main run that I want to take a look at is going to be SOS 8. This is one of the most impressive runs I've just seen in general in tournaments. He got wins on Fast, Geist, Dark Wizzy, Doorstop, and Cosmos, getting second place, only losing to Onin. Wilds is ridiculous. One of the best Kazuya's in the world. And I feel like this happens a lot with Steven Kazuya because you have players like Ackle and Riddle having such success. If you're not like winning a Super Major, it's like, oh, he's not that good. Blah, 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 he's playing Kazuya, whatever. No, these players are extremely talented. And Wilds is a great example that he is unreal. So insane. He looked so good at SOS. Again, he beat Cosmos. Cosmos just got top 8 at Kowloon 5. This is an insane win for him. That's a top 30 player in the world. Wilds is going places. He is undeniably the future of this game. A lot of people that I mentioned in this video, I mean, most people, if not all of the people I mentioned in this video, are going to be the future of this game. If Wilds continues to play at this level, even at a very, very slow rate of like increasing, like he's slowly getting better, not even like rapidly getting better, he's going to be like a top 30 player by the time Smash 6 comes out. Wilds is ridiculous. He's so amazing. I need to see just more of him at majors. He's just so talented. And the final player that I want to talk about is going to be Kanaji. If you don't know who he is, he's a very good Snake player from Australia, which is two of my favorite things because, Australia, like a minor region at this point, kind of getting closer to major though because Australia is cracked, as well as Snake. I love Snake. He has some pretty impressive results. Like, he has a 5th at BAM. He has a 13th place at Phantom, 49th at Meisuma top 10, 9th place at Suma and Bado 30. But what I care about is the wins list because this is one of the most insane wins lists just in Ultimate in general. He has wins on Kananabe, Luminous, Yara, basically every PR'd Australian player, except for what I can find, Jay Dizzle. I don't think he's played Jay Dizzle yet in tournaments, so that'll be interesting to see what that happens. And most importantly, though, Momon, Dio, Karage, and Proto Bonham. He has a Proto Bonham win, and he did it with Snake. God bless the Lord. He is so talented. We saw a little bit of him in Japan. Also, just pretty interesting how well Australia does in Japan. Like, you had Strix getting an upset over Mia. You had Jay Dizzle having a really strong Umabara. Obviously, Kanaji getting a bunch of really strong wins when he was in Japan. So maybe Australia just has Japan figured out. And also, Japan best region. Australia is doing well in Japan. By proxy, Australia best region. Again, I don't really make the rules, but Kanaji is extremely talented. I really want to see him in the US. I just kind of want to see more of him because I don't get to catch enough of the Australian scene in general, and I love watching this goated Snake playing play. Like, please watch it, Kanaji. He is incredibly talented, and I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And this video was a little bit scatterbrained, and we didn't get to mention every single Prodigy in the world because there's a lot of like very, very talented players right now. But the main takeaway from this video shouldn't be like, oh, I got left out, feel bad. No, the main takeaway should be if you are grinding, just keep at it. Keep grinding. Doesn't matter if you're playing a character like Steve, Kazuya. People are like, oh, this character you carried. Yada. Don't. Who cares what people think? Keep it up. Keep up the hard work. It is going to pay off. If you're up and coming in this game, you will reach the summit. There's so many talented players right now. It's the hardest it's ever been to compete in Ultimate. If you're finding success, keep at it. If you're not finding success, don't worry. You're going to find it eventually. I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If there's a Prodigy again that I left out, please let me know down below. I really just want to know more about people. Spread the word about all these super talented players. They deserve it. There's so many. Just amazing players are there. I'm ranting again. I know we're ranting on this video. Sport's been absolutely unreal lately. Thank you guys for everything, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.